Hey, what's up everyone? We finally arrived back in the room on the floor. Now the layout should be up again in hopefully just a few weeks. Should be soon. Again, just in the middle of a few things and settling in after the long and fantastic holiday. And again, the camera's back all again all safe and sound. You know, it was pretty much if I had to put it one way, working its nuts off. Taking pics every fraction of a second. You know, so again, can take pics with this one as well. Doing a fair few videos, again mostly taking pictures. Although I had to start to use my older camera, which I used to film with, because this one started running. The memory on this one started running out. That and also something else. It's managed to survive something else. It's designed for. And even more rough situations. Actually, just over a week since I got back. You know, before making videos again, just had to get rid of the jet lag, which isn't always the easiest afterwards. But we're back. We're now here back with a Locomotive review, a new addition to the fleet, to the collection. Well, to the LNER fleet. This is, as it says there, it should say D49, as it's a D49 model. LNER 440 Hunt, Hunt, that type of class. It should say more, that doesn't really explain it that well. It should say D49, LNER D49 440 Hunt type class. The 440 again. Sorry if I get a bit sniffy or croaky. I just hope hay fever's not coming back. But as you can see, this is a railroad model, and yep, I'll say it now. Farewell Modelzone. This was the last This is going to be the last loco which I'll buy from it. I was looking in one of my closest ones, my second closest one, and thought, well, I've just got to get one more loco from it before it goes. I mean, this, to be honest, not the cheapest for a railroad model. $74.99. I'd say that feels a little bit overpriced. It's a fairly small engine. Yes, $74.99. Yeah, that's okay for like the railroad A4, A4 or A3. But something like this, this size, a small D49. I'd say about 60 something, about 62, 63 is a bit more acceptable. But yeah, I've taken her out. I mean, they tested her in the shop because of it going into administration. It would be rather a problem in a jiffy if it didn't run right. So I asked if they could test it in the shop, and they kindly did. Just tested it with a piece of at first with just putting a little battery on the driving wheels, which sort of worked, but not really that well. So they got a piece of track out and just tested it on that, and she runs perfectly. She's DCC ready as well, as you can see there. So another just like my just like a shirt collection, a DCC jacket collection. Goodbye. Let's just again instructions. It's for compound county hunt. So the D49 hunt class. Again, rather handsome machines. Yes, for the compound county hunt and schools class railroad locomotives, DCC ready and DCC fitted. Ones, just the usual. Again, we're all familiar with these, aren't we? Okay, locomotive. Now, as you can see, she's in. This is still taped to the bottom there. She's in a very nice LNER apple green, same as Flying Scotsman, and these D49s hunts come with pretty much exactly the same type of tenders as the V2s do. I mean, I could pretty much mistake that for Green Arrow's tender, you know, unless looking at the coupling, which they're the big full-size ones, but it's a railroad model, you know, so that's forgiven, you know. So again, that's, you know, not expect a lot in the way of in the way of detail. However, for a railroad model, let's just bring her into shot. Be careful, because this is a model which the tender is permanently on, well, you know, with a screw and some wires going that way, where, you know, obviously for the DCC chip. And she's got not a massive amount, but a fair amount of weight to her. I mean, I like the wheels. For a railroad model, this is quite fairly detailed. Again, of course, it's not superb. You know, I mean, there's no rods under. Well, you know, there's actually no rods underneath, none of the brake rods. So that's sort of missing a bit when it comes to the real thing. All that comes, extra parts are, here they are, just some little vacuum pipes there. Helps if you get them into shot. There, as you can see. I thought this, you know, since it's a rectangular shape, I thought it was just like one little single vacuum pipe to put on there, which smaller ones aren't too bad to get on, but bigger ones, again, don't get me started. But you know, despite that, very nice model indeed. And this one's called the Berkeley. I know one of these D49. I'm not sure how many there is. I don't know much about the hunts, about the D49s. Well, I just know about one of them preserved. It might be the only one. Was it which I think is in LNER Green, but a little bit different. Was it called? Is you pronounce it Moratia? Was it Moratia? It's a fairly longish name. Again, this one's the Berkeley, which I like. And this one has got windows in, as you can see, and the first window, the front windows, again, she's quite B12 style, you know, cab shape and that, but the first windows there, on the front ones, have got windows in, which most railroad locomotives don't. I mean, my Flying Scotsman hasn't got windows in, the A4 Falcon hasn't either. So this one obviously does come with windows in. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, the 9Fs do. I'm not sure about the LMS Black 5, but most of Hornby's railroad locomotives don't come with windows in them. Again, just gonna watch it with this front pony truck. It's pretty flimsy and light. It's usually like that with the lower detail models, to be honest. I mean, let's just pick the camera up a second and have a look from above. I mean, we have some very nice whistle and safety valves there, and again the windows, the plastic window parts fitted in. Again, very nice touch. Again, looking at it from like that view, you know, you can almost tell it as a B12 really, all similar design, but very handsome locomotives. Just pop the camera back on, just using a Steam Railway DVD there, just because again it's only a small tripod. Set of legs really. Just carefully bring her around here to the other side. Yeah, I'm very proud of this one. I mean, some parts are moulded, like the black pipes there, they're separately fitted, but the one on the other side, just move the pony truck there, the one on this side here, above, get into a comfortable position. Yeah, that one above, running. Yeah, that one there. My fingers on running it above that one. Above the black one is moulded, and a couple of moulded ones on the side of the loco, but separately fitted ones on the tender. I've been thinking, I've got a fair collection of LNER. I'd say the two I've got most is GWR and GWR and LNER. So since I did a GWR festival earlier this year, I'm thinking of maybe doing an LNER one, you know, featuring all the LNER locos, a lot of LNER stock. Although it won't be really anytime soon though, because there's a number of videos coming up on the way. Again, new loco arrivals, and I mean, as I said before I went away, the next event is the next. Oh yeah, her number 222. Again, the next event will be locos, which will be famous if they existed in real life. I might feature this one in it because she really is a very handsome looking loco. Again, small size, but still. Hornby, of course, used the chassis of this loco for their Edward model, which 50-50 with it really doesn't work that well. But it's good for looking at. I mean, she's a pretty old, a pretty old design of models got up on the box now, as you can see. Now, looking in the cab, it's all moulded, of course, again, but it's forgiven on a railroad model. Try and get it to focus as best I can. It doesn't really want to at the moment, but looking in the cab, there's it's acceptable for cab detail, and yeah, again, really the only lower detail parts is not really much underneath, and not the buffers aren't sprung, and the big full-size couplings, which means she'll go around tighter curves well, but I don't use those. Anyways, again, not really used to buying, locos with such big couplings. But yeah, her and Green Arrow's tender identical. I mean, if you were looking at that now, if you didn't know which loco it was, you'd probably think it was Green Arrow. It's pretty much identical. So yeah, I'm gonna do an LNER loco festival one day. Again, another thing which got me into that idea was, the Great Gathering at York again, which was fantastic. Again, coming up nearly about 2 months ago now. It was not far off. And this loco to me is going to be the remembrance of Modelzone. Again, farewell Modelzone. You've been a great shop, but been buying many things from you over the past 10 years of collecting model railways. So yeah, just carefully turn around. So yeah, she definitely isn't a super heavyweight loco, but I'd say about medium-ish. She's really smart. Next time I'll get her out, when the lights up, I'll fit the vacuum pipes on if I can, because most of the time they don't want to go on, you have to stick them on with glue, which can be a bit of a faff. Just zoom in on the nameplate there, just try and get it to come into focus. The Berkeley, yes, yeah, you know what it says. I mean, I think we could read it clearly earlier anyway. So yeah, I'll probably feature this loco in the locos, which would be famous if they were, all well known. Famous and well known if they did exist in real life, and obviously in the LNER festival when I do that. But that's a few events away yet. I'm not totally sure when that'll be up. Not sure towards the end of this year, or could be very early next year. But it'll come. Believe me, it'll be here. Possibly January next year. God, that'll be a year after I did the GWR one at the start of this year. Can't believe that's over half a year ago. So yeah, once again, thanks a lot, Modelzone. You've been a great. Let's just get some zoom in shots, clear zoom in shots. You've been a great shop. I'm gonna miss you. Again, for those who probably most of you do know about Modelzone's going into administration. Well, my closest one, the closest one to me, has shut down, but I got this one from my second closest one, which shuts down on the 12th of September. In the Goth cabinet, all there really was just a collection of railroad models, including this one, some Thomas the Tank Engine characters, and a few limited editions, but they were pretty expensive. I mean, been wanting to get a smaller, a tender loco but smaller LNER one, and this one's pretty much perfect. I think she's got like pretty thinnish traction tyres on her front wheels there. They do look blacker than these ones, so I suppose that's another rather unrealistic touch. But it'll help her grip because what would be the most powerful of locos. But I'm sure she should pull reasonably well. I mean, she would pull Flying Scotsman's Gracely Teak coaches with absolutely no problem at all. Yeah, so yeah, I just had to buy one more loco from Modelzone before it went. Oh, and the coal. This is probably moulded, of course, again it's forgiven on a railroad model, but it doesn't look too bad. You know, it's actually got quite a realistic look to it. It's not too bad at all. I'm very proud of this model. It's very good. Well, it definitely comes. Never really strongly recommend railroad ones. Well, not as much. Well, obviously not as much as the high detail ones, but this one, yeah. This one again. Glad that she has got windows in there. Again, I thought all railroad LNER locos didn't come with them, but this one definitely comes recommended by me. So that's LNER D49 440, number 222, Hunt, the Berkeley. Should see her running soon.